We are Tom and Michelle Sanchez, headed for Burundi, Africa, where we hope, with the Lord's help, to create a community of grace.
We were missionaries with Grace Ministries International in the Democratic Republic of the Congo from 1987 until 2000, along with our 3 children. When we came back in 2000, we went back to school, and I earned a master's in language and literature in 2011, and at that time began working at Grand Valley State University.
For myself, I graduated in 2006 with a master's as a family nurse practitioner, then advanced as a doctor of nursing practice in 2014. I was on faculty with Grand Valley State University, and by 2015, we had then begun to sense a new call. We thought the Lord was leading us back to Africa, and we didn't know exactly where we should go.
So we felt that God was calling us back to the country of Burundi. But first, Grace Ministries asked that we come alongside the church leaders in Zambia. And so that's what we've done for the past 2 years. We've been in Kabwe, Zambia,
where there's the Grace Church headquarters at Grace Center. There we worked with a main church called Grace Community Fellowship, which was elder-run, and we continue to develop that group of elders as a team that is ready to continue the organization and leadership of that church. It's a unique church with white Zambians, black Zambians, deaf Zambians, and a number of missionaries who attend there. So it was a unique opportunity.
We also came alongside a couple of laymen and began a prison ministry using Prison Mission Association's Bible correspondence courses. And we really saw the Lord blessing that ministry.
There was over 500 students who were taking correspondence lessons by the time we left. This team also organizes weekly visits and other ministry for the prisoners.
I also came alongside Zambian school teachers who were also missionaries, trained by Operation Mobilization, and I was able to help them to raise support in their own home churches. I showed them how to write prayer letters, how to write support letters, and gave them a few typing lessons as well.
Yeah, that typing lessons was also important to them too. I also deliver health care wherever I am, and in this case, the missions community was rather large, and a lot of kids and people who needed care that was delivered sometimes right out of my home, like here where I was taking the stitches out for an injury that I'd put them in for about 2 weeks prior to that.
On our way home this past December, we stopped in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and Tom officiated at the wedding of our son Simeon. He married Myra O'Micton, who was a missionary with Things to Come Mission.
We welcomed a new daughter into
Yay.
our family. It was a really cool thing to do. But our focus now is Burundi. We are going to head there to create this community of grace in the capital city. Burundi is a landlocked country in the heart of Africa. It's in a region of Africa that is known as the Great Lakes region, surrounded by very huge lakes. Burundi itself sits at the top of Lake Tanganyika, with the capital city of Bujumbura right at the top. Lake Tanganyika, for example, is a 400-mile-long lake. To the east is the country of Tanzania, and to the west is the Democratic Republic of Congo, where we used to work right at Bukavu.
So we feel the Lord calling us to the capital city of Bujumbura. They have approximately a population of 800,000 people. And when we were there this past December, we found it to be a modern city with Wi-Fi and internet connections. And so we're just really feeling blessed to be able to go there.
The tribal makeup is Hutu and Tutsi, which matches the country of Rwanda to its north. Sometimes there are tensions between the two tribes. The languages that are used are Kirundi and French. Kirundi is the language used by just about everyone. French is a language where kids who've gone to school, for instance, through junior high or high school, learn French. English is used at the highest levels of education, in the graduate level, and Swahili is a commercial language, which we learned in Congo and we'll be able to use there as well. The religious makeup is largely Christian, but the majority of those are Roman Catholic, Protestants making up only about 24% if you include the Adventists.
So healthcare is a bit, what would you say? Lacking, yes. So there are only 3 physicians to every 100,000 people. Life expectancy is low, and there are only 66 hospital beds to every 100,000 people. The literacy rates are also low, and we just hope to be able to go there for Tom to use his medical skills and me to use my teaching skills. Politics
is sometimes viewed as tribal, but also political party rivalries that are forming, sometimes around tribes or not. In 2015, there was a big conflagration that occurred as part of the presidential election at that time.
So our entry point into the country of Burundi is to join the staff, the faculty at Hope Africa University as part-time volunteers, and we hope then to be able to come alongside students and faculty members and community members.
At Hope Africa University, there's a nursing school as well as a medical school. I'll be teaching clinical skills in Kliniek Van Norman, which is a hospital attached to the university. There we'll be able to reach patients as well as faculty. There's also the possibility of starting Bible studies and having chapel time, as well as organizing conferences for the university. There's an FM radio station that is attached to the university, and we've been told that we can have and purchase radio time in order to reach with our message extending into the community via the radio station. We also have a team that is slowly forming. From Tanzania is Method and his wife Omelina Mwendapoli. They are experienced church planters from that country. They're going to come alongside us. Method is also an experienced Bible teacher. Sylvain is a member of the president's staff, and he provides government liaison help, totally voluntary. He likes to see Christian ministries get up and running, and he's helping us out.
So the field of Burundi will be the sixth toward the fulfillment of Vision 2023 of 8 fields. And we see that the Lord is leading us to disciple Burundians for church leadership, to plant the first Burundian-led GMI associated churches. And we're also looking to recruit other missionaries as we have Method and Omelina to come alongside us to work in other areas as we work in other areas as well.
We are going to volunteer as unpaid part-time faculty of Hope Africa University. There we hope to disciple future doctors, nurses, lawyers, dentists, civil servants, teachers. All of them are going to be able to go back to where the towns that they came from or the countries that they came from. Over half of the students who attend Hope Africa University are from other countries surrounding Tanzania, surrounding Burundi, that is. So please pray for this ministry. Our first prayer request is already answered. We're asking for a solid, mutually acceptable memorandum of understanding between ourselves and the university that is signed and ready to go.
We also need to improve on our French. We do have some experience and knowledge of French from our time in DR Congo. We also need to find a house to rent and a good used vehicle. Also entry visas, and that we meet the startup requirements of perhaps having to purchase land and a building to begin the first Grace Church Burundi.
We need prepared hearts to respond to the evangelism and people who will be called to form the Grace Church of Burundi. We're looking for a peaceful transition of power during the campaign and election that's coming up in late May of this year. We are also asking you to receive our prayer letters, which come out twice a year. The verse that we take from the scriptures that has provided inspiration for us through the years has been 2 Corinthians 9:13a. Because of the service by which you have proved yourselves, men will praise God for the obedience that accompanies your confession of the gospel of Christ. We see ourselves as being that obedient arm sent by you to reach into Africa to provide for their needs. And because of that, they send thanks to God for what you've done. We are currently short about $1,000 per month. That would represent 10 families or churches willing to give $100 per month to finish off our support need. We also need to raise funds for a vehicle. We have about $3,500. We need to get at least to $12,000 up to $15,000. One-time donations are helpful. Radio airtime, we've been quoted at about $35 a week for a 30-minute session. That comes to $140 per month if you're willing to help us out with that.
If you would like to hear more about Team Burundi, about how we're going to Bujumbura, contact us on email or join Team Burundi on Facebook. And thank you so much for your support for us and for your prayers for us. We really appreciate it.